Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking.
Work hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. But I wouldn't trade a thing for what I have. I go hard, do what I need to make it last. They say the good die young, I hope I'm back. Cheers to my past.
Today we're going to attempt to build a new toy, 1932 Ford hot rod. And I really like this style of hot rod. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to import a drawing. So this is a 1932 Ford little hot rod. And what we want to do is we want to basically transform this to something we can work with. Now, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Sometimes they're a mess. And looking at this, we might have the outside line pretty good. So let's go ahead and convert that. We're going to go ahead and delete the picture. And there's what we're left with. Now you can see that outside line, which is what we want. It's in pretty decent shape. So this drawing will be pretty good. Now what we need to do, just like in all the drawings, we're only going to use the window and the outside line. And then we're going to basically get rid of everything else so that we can cut this body. I think this body is going to actually be pretty nice looking. So let's start off in the front. We're basically we'll ungroup this to its regular original layer. And then we'll go in here and start cutting this stuff out. Now, it can be a little tricky. If you saw that last one I did where I did the 1940 Ford Coupe, I had to do a lot of work on it. But this one's not going to be as bad, so this one will be pretty quick. So the first thing I like to do is establish these lines. So we're going to go up here to the lines. We're going to come up here, and we're going to try to find a line here. And I think that'll be okay right there. Now, what I want to do, we'll go ahead and connect that one to there and escape. Now what I want to do is round this front piece right here. So I'm going to go up here and get a curved line, come back here, and curve this little section a little bit. Okay, now I can go to the scissors, cut that wheel out of there. And it's not letting me cut it because this thing's connected down here. So let's see how far that goes. So you can see our line is, close that, you can see our line is connected right there. It follows the body all the way over here. Now what we need to do is somehow come from this back bumper down to this line. And what I want to do is make sure I have enough room for the wheel because I need an axle in here. So we'll go ahead and make a curved line. Let's make sure which one we're on here. We're on the bottom one. So we're going to make a curved line from right here, and we're going to go up into here, but I'm going to curve this down a little bit so I have enough room to put that axle in there. That's a little tight, but actually what I might do is I might do a little different thing here. So we're going to go ahead and put that there. So let's go to the scissors. Yeah, we're able to start chopping this stuff up. Might have to redo this line a little bit, but you get the general idea. You kind of have to just pick your spots, and I think what I want to do is have a straighter line from right here. So let's grab this line right there, and we're going to go straight across here. I think that'll be a little easier and nicer. Get rid of all the fluffy stuff inside. Most of the cars I actually drew by hand, but some of these body styles, I kind of like to be as close to the real thing as possible. I try to get something that's really, really close to the real thing and try to see if I can't make that work. I'm going to keep all the dimensions of this. I want this shape to really stay the same. So this outside body is really important to me. Now what we need to do is establish this window. So what I'm going to do is go up here and grab the line tool. And I think what I'm going to do is go right from here. And I'm going to find this window. So that's our window bottom. Now what I want to do is grab the scissors and start chopping everything that's connected to that. And that's about all I can chop right there. I can see a line down here that kind of comes around there, goes up there, up to there. But I kind of want the window to be a little higher up here. So I think what I'm going to do is connect a couple of these outside lines. This one right here, and that one right there. And let's see if we can chop some of this other stuff away. Yeah, there's a little bit of established line right there. Let's go through and get rid of all the stuff we don't need here. That way we can kind of take a look at it and see if that window shape is good. It's not too bad. This needs to come straight down. So we'll go ahead and bring this straight down. And then we'll get the scissors and trim this other piece out of there. The only thing is this window up here is way too close to be able to, we want this to be thick enough to, let's see, let's look back at it. Yeah, it needs to be a lot thicker right there. So what I want to do is, I'm going to redraw the front of this a little bit. So we'll start where we want to start, probably right there. And we probably want to go about there. And we want to try to have, boom, right there. That way this will be a lot thicker for the bit, and also we don't want it to be breaking. That didn't do what I wanted it to do, but let's go ahead. Okay. Now let's see if we can cut this other stuff out. Yep. Okay, there's our body. I think we need to make this smooth across the top because ours is not going to have an open motor. Let's try that right there. And that looks good. Okay, we got the pretty basic drawing done. Now what we need to do, so we've got our piece of wood the size that we like to make our toys. So we're going to click on that, hold the shift key down, and basically bring this up as much as we can here. And we're also going to center it up and down. And let's see, we want to, actually that can stay just like that. Now what we need to do, we need to put these wheels in. Okay, so right before this bend, right about there is the hole. So we need a 1-inch hole. And we're going to come over here and we're going to basically right about where this thing is. There's our, now what we need to do is, we need to bring that down more. Because I remember it was pretty close here. So there's our axle hole. Now what we'll do is get rid of this one. We're going to trim that inside piece. Something was left there. So we got a couple different, so that's going to be the axle hole for the back wheel. Now the front wheel doesn't need one because we can just, so we're going to put in 3/8, so actually no, we're going to put 0.5 half-inch hole. And we're going to put that thing pretty close to the front end because the wheel's going to stick out on the front. And I think that's perfect right there. Now what we need to do is come over here in the center of this one. And there's our axle hole. So we've got a couple different things going on here. We are going to trim this outside piece. And there's our body with the axle holes. And I think that looks pretty good so far. So I think what we can do now is we can go over to the tool path and see about how this is going to turn out. The first one I always cut is the axles and the windows. So we'll go up here to pocketing toolpath. The way I do these axles is I cut a 1/2 inch at a time. So we'll put 0.5, one pass. We're going to highlight the axles. We'll actually group those together also. And we're going to put axle 1/2 inch, 0.5. And all this can stay the same. We're just going to go over there and plunge them. We'll go ahead and calculate. And we'll go back, leave it highlighted, leave it everything the same. Now we're going to change this to 1 inch. So we're going basically a 1/2 inch at a time. One pass, same bit. Over here we'll put axle 1. And what this does is it keeps it from burning through 1.5 inch material. Basically I'm plunging 3 different times, but I've learned in the past that this works a little better. Now we'll cut our final hole, which is 1.54. Just one pass. Okay. And then axle 1.54. And it tells you you're going to cut through. Okay, so we got 3 tool paths for the axle holes, but that's just because I like to run it 3 different times going through there. So now let's cut the window out. And it's going to be the same, a pocketing tool path. The only difference this time, we're going to go cut through, but we're going to do 4 passes. So it's basically going to take 4 passes to cut through this window. And the bit's all good. We don't need any. We'll put down here window. And that's all we have to put. Let's go ahead and calculate. Okay, we got a problem with the window. We need to preview that, make sure it's okay. And that doesn't look bad. So it looks like the window's okay. Sometimes it doesn't work out very good, but that time it did. So the next thing we do is the last tool path is the profile tool path. Up here. Got the wrong profile tool in there, so let's go ahead and get the right one in there. Down cut spiral bit. Now I'm going to leave this feed rate at 60. And select. So we got that right. Now we need to edit the passes. We need 4 passes. Okay. So we got now we need the cut depth, 1.54. Outside the line, we have to add tabs so this thing doesn't go flying. So we'll edit the tabs. We'll go ahead and put them where we want them. I like them on the front, down here on the bottom, and one right there. And close. Now we'll look at everything before we calculate. So we got the passes changed. We're going to change that back to 4 passes. Set passes, okay. I always do a little double take of everything before I go through. So we got the tabs on there. And now we'll put body. Cut through, so the body didn't have any problems. We'll preview all. And there's our little hot rod. And that looks pretty good. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. The window up here is pretty thin, but I think it'll work out. It could be thicker, but yeah, matter of fact, I wonder if we should make that a little thicker before we cut it. All right, let's go back and change this window. Actually, what we could do is copy that, paste it. There we go. Actually, that worked out really good. Now all I have to do is get the scissors, cut that bottom part off, cut that top part off, and that little bit right there. Sometimes, if you just think about it for a minute, you can come up with a good idea and make it easy to fix something. Now I can already see that this is where that vector validator was having trouble right here. So let's get our scissors, cut some of that out. There we go. Now bet the way this looks, it should cut out a lot easier. Okay. All right, let's go back to the toolpaths. We're going to delete the window because we want to redo that. So now we're going to highlight the window. We're going to do the pocketing toolpath. 1.54, cut the right bit. We need four passes. We don't need anything else. We go down here, we put window. And calculate. Okay, we didn't have, so that actually, by changing that and doing a little fix up, we didn't have any more problem with that. So let's reset the preview, preview all. And now the window is a little thicker. The material up here is thicker, and I like that a little better. Let me know what you think. All right, this one's pretty much ready to go. We are going to make some custom fat wheels for the back of it. Okay, let's go over the machine and we'll cut this out. And there you go, one little 1932 Ford hot rod. I usually don't glue the tires and wheels onto the axles until I decide if I'm going to paint it or not. Sometimes, and even if I don't, I'll pull the wheels off, sand it, and I might shellac it or put some flames on it or something. But this is how this is right off the CNC machine and the router, and that's how they turn out. This one would look really good with some flames. Anyway, this is the first fat tire wheels that I put. I just thought that's kind of how the old hot rods are with these fat wheels. So I might start making more of these fat wheels. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video of the 1932 Ford Roadster. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I will see you next time. Later.
Work hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple.